power beam of We Are Change Connecticut, wearechangect.org, and this is Truth Talk News. As Congress returns to supposedly do the work of the people, we had a long-time stenographer speak some serious truth.
House members were making their historic votes and other drama unfolded right in front of them. Diane Reedy, a long-time congressional employee, had to be removed after she began shouting. Lawmakers said she was yelling about the House being divided and the devil. Reedy was questioned by police. She was then taken to the hospital to be evaluated.
He will not be mocked. He will not be mocked. Don't touch me. He will not be mocked. The greatest deception here is this is not one nation under God. It never was. Had it been, it would not have been. No. It would not have been. The Constitution would not have been written by freemasons. They go against God. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot serve two masters. Praise be to God, Lord Jesus Christ.
The occulted history of the founding of our nation is slowly coming to the surface. The History Channel has done some treatments on this where the Masons defend themselves and all of the other things about the fact that they're attacking the Founding Fathers. I mean, there's a lot of controversy about when they say that Benjamin Franklin was a Satanist. He went to the Hellfire Club. They were deists. They believed in the all-seeing eye of Horus and the gods of the mystery religion of Babylon. That much they got right on the History Channel. I couldn't believe it. Most of the information, of course, is skewed and not really forthcoming of the truth, with little elements. It's like 70% truth and then 30% deception to leave a lasting impression of something. That's what you get when you watch any of these shows on Freemasonry or the New World Order on television. You're not going to get the truth, but you'll get segments of it.
One of America's most important founders was a man named Charles Thompson, who was said to have been closer to the events and people of the American Revolution than any other man of that era. Thompson was the congressional secretary from 1774 to 1789, all the way through the Revolution and the establishment of the federal government. He was also the man who made the final decisions for the design of the Great Seal of the United States, which can now be found on the back of America's dollar bill. As the new American Republic was being founded, Thompson made a detailed history of the events that took place during the Revolution and of the men who were being celebrated as heroes across the country. Though he was compelled repeatedly to publish this history, Thompson declined. "No," he said, "I ought not, for I should contradict all the histories of the great events of the Revolution. Let the world admire the supposed wisdom and valor of our great men."
Sir Francis Dashwood started what became to be known as the Hellfire Club, which was a fascinating, creepy sex club that was meeting out in the countryside.
They would take whole days, whole weeks off and go to a retreat and indulge themselves.
The caves were originally dug to provide materials for local road construction. But sometime during Sir Francis Dashwood's lifetime, secret rooms and tunnels were added to the caves. The mystery about why this was done has endured for more than 250 years. Many people believe that these underground caves were created to indulge the Lord's known passion for sex and the occult.
Well, there's really no doubt. The gentlemen that were associated with the club were men of great privilege, and with that privilege comes the capacity for them to entertain themselves in a manner in which they choose.
They do seem to have been indulging in much extreme sexuality. Sex was obviously a big part of these clubs.
They're just the most interesting and important men of the day, and socially they get together and do what they'd like to do.
Because the Hellfire Club was so secretive, much of what took place in these caves remains a mystery. At the end of the cave system is a chamber known as the Inner Temple, reserved for elite members only.
The members that were part of the inner circle were truly secretive, and so whilst there might have been very many members of the Hellfire Club, only those that were part of the inner circle were entitled to be a part of certain ceremonies. They were kept very secret from the rest of the members, and because this particular area was off limits to others, we don't really know what happened here.
Benjamin Franklin's participation in the Hellfire Club is hotly debated. Franklin does write that he has been below ground at West Wickham, but gives no details. There is some evidence that Hellfire Clubs were imported to America.
There appear to have been tavern rumours that even if they weren't called Hellfire Clubs, similar clubs did exist in colonial America. There are accounts that people were actually arrested for hiring young girls and getting them to strip naked so they could look at them, and possibly a version of the club for transvestites as well.
And at least one of these clubs was linked to James Franklin, Ben Franklin's older brother.
James was accused of being a member of a Hellfire Club, and it was James who actually printed in New England Courant the copy of Appleby's journal which described Hellfire Club in fairly graphic detail.
While it's a tenuous connection between Ben Franklin and the sexual deviance of the Hellfire Clubs, there's nothing debatable about the Founding Fathers' connection to this. In 1998, workmen in the basement of Ben Franklin's London home found a human bone. They dug deeper and found more bones and more. Fingers, skulls of men, women, children. Altogether, they discovered over 1,000 different body parts.
Bill, I know what happened last night. And I know what's been going on since then. And I think you just might have the wrong idea about one or two things. Okay, he had a bruise on his face. That's a hell of a lot less than he deserves. Listen, Bill, I don't think you realize what kind of trouble you were in last night. Who do you think those people were? Those were not just ordinary people there. If I told you their names, I'm not going to tell you their names, but if I did, I don't think you'd sleep so well.
You know, that's what we're here to do. Let's tell the story.
Well, he says my boss was part of a group. They call themselves, what I was told was the B'nai HaNephilim, the sons of the fallen, disciples of Lucifer. And just so that you understand, they believe that the God of the Bible is evil. And they believe that Lucifer is good.
This is your boss's secret cabal.
This is their
believes
secret.
that the God that we all know is the bad guy.
Is the bad guy. That spear is the one that they believe when the temple is rebuilt in the city of David, their man, the person that they had handpicked, was at some point going to walk into the Holy of Holies, take the blade and shed his own blood, and then proclaim himself to be the Messiah. And then these sons of the fallen, they plan on ruling the world. They believe it enough to not only be willing to kill for it, they believe it enough to die for it.
And right now, they're trying to move in Jerusalem to make that new temple rise.
Yes.
So that this next coming happens.
Yes.
And that they will have, therefore, control of this world.
Yes.
We found almost 1,200 pieces of people, one of which was a fetal skeleton.
It was the wording in Article 1, Section 8, Clause 18.
Congress shall have the power to exercise exclusive legislation in all cases whatsoever. Notice those are the exact same words as are in the Declaration, to be the very definition of tyranny. And yet 11 years later, the same Masons are now giving that power to Congress. They gave Congress tyrannical power. That's why they did it. Those symbols reveal our future, and I call it America's secret destiny. And I started becoming concerned about that. And when I did, I found the trackings of the Masonic Lodge.
Look carefully at the eagle.
If you look at the eagle's left wing and count the feathers on that wing, there's 32 of them. And on the right wing, there's 33. The eagle doesn't have odd number of feathers. That's not by accident, that's by design. And you'll notice that it's the right wing of the eagle that the eagle's looking towards, and that's the one with 33 on it. And the 33rd degree inside the Masonic Lodge runs the whole thing worldwide.
Is this a secret symbol that 33 is the only right number? Is it a coincidence that the 33rd degree is the highest level a Freemason can attain? And as far as numbers go, the startling use of the number 13 also seems to be about more than just a tribute to the original colonies.
The Masons discuss the mystical number 13. It's significant to them. The people that founded this nation knew that the number 13 had Masonic significance, and it was the Masons who set this nation up. There are 13 leaves in the olive branches in the Great Seal, 13 bars and stripes, 13 arrows, 13 stars in the crest. The American eagle is our national bird. Those two words, American eagle, have 13 letters. The words e pluribus unum also have 13 letters. The two words annuit septus have 13 letters.
The 13 letters in annuit coeptis is only the beginning of the controversy surrounding the reverse of the Great Seal. The unfinished pyramid and all-seeing eye have been identified with the Freemasons for centuries.
The pyramid represents this conspiracy that the Masons are part of a 6,000-year-old religion called the Ancient Mystery Religion. This is not something that just popped up in 1776. This is 6,000 years old.
A secret message perhaps linked to the original star families, or what is also called the Order of the Quest.
The Order of the Quest that came here in the 1600s, they teach their children who teach their children who teach their children, and it passes on from generation to generation.
Those who worship the mystery religion of Babylon believe that Adam and Eve were cast out of heaven by a cruel and vindictive God who held from them the secrets of the universe via the tree of knowledge, and Lucifer freed them from bondage in the Garden of Eden by giving them knowledge. And the Nephilim worship Lucifer, the savior of humanity. And from out of the darkness of ignorance came the illumination of knowledge. The illumined believe that Lucifer is the son of the morning star who brought humanity from darkness into the light of knowledge.
Naysayers point out the pyramid and all-seeing eye didn't appear publicly on money until the 20th century, diluting the symbol's real influence. But this is the same symbol printed on a US $40 note, dated 1778.
Thank you for watching Truth Talk News, where news the mainstream media ignores is the top story. For more truth, subscribe to Freedom First Films on YouTube and Truth Talk News on livestream.com. They believed in the all-seeing eye of Horus and the gods of the mystery religion of Babylon. That much they got right on the History Channel, I couldn't believe it. Most of the information, of course, is skewed and not really forthcoming of the truth, with little elements. It's like 70% truth and then 30% deception to leave a lasting impression of something. That's what you get when you watch any of these shows. On time stenographer speaks some serious truth.
House members are making their historic votes. Another drama unfolded right in front of them. Diane Reedy, a longtime congressional employee, had to be removed after she began shouting. Lawmakers said she was yelling about the House being divided and the devil. Reedy was questioned by police. She was then taken to the hospital to be evaluated.
He will not be mocked. He will not be mocked. Don't touch me. He will not be mocked. The greatest deception here is this is not one nation under God. It never was. Had it been, it would not have been. No. It would not have been. The Constitution would not have been written by freemasons. They go against God. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot serve two masters. Praise be to God, Lord Jesus Christ.
The occulted history of the founding of our nation is slowly coming to the surface. The History Channel has done some treatments on this where the Masons defend themselves and all of the other things about the fact that they're attacking the founding fathers. I mean, there's a lot of controversy about when they say that Benjamin Franklin was a Satanist. He went to the Hellfire Club. They were deists. I'm Howard Nima of We Are Change Connecticut, WeAreChangeCT.org, and this is Truth Talk News. As Congress returns to supposedly do the work of the people, we had a long